Hi, I'm Michelle Bosch, real estate investor, mom, wife, and host of the InFLOW podcast. And I'm passionate about helping women invest in land and apartments. Join me each and every week for real estate investing strategies and interviews with thought leaders that will leave you inspired and ready to step into flow for inflows of cash, inflows of ease, and inflows of grace in your life. Now, here on YouTube are the video versions of my podcast, and in order for you to get my latest information, please go ahead and subscribe. And now, let's go. Welcome to the InFLOW podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bosch. I'm excited to be with you guys today. I know that you can probably see a little bit the reflection of my ring light here. I'm actually recording, and it's a little bit now towards the tail end of the day, so it's a little bit dark outside. But anyways, we're gonna roll with this, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about the mindset shifts that are going to be necessary as you go from an employee to a full-time, business owner, specifically, a land flipping business owner, and really embark in an entrepreneurial journey. Your mindset is going to have to be, I don't want to say changing, more like upgrading. And not that there was anything wrong with the one before. It's just that, it's going to require, as you become a full-time business owner, it's going to require so much more of you. It's required so much more of what, just mental fortitude, strength, ability to entertain complexity, to deal with the pace of being a full-time, business owner, and so on and so forth, health-wise, mentally, emotionally. It's a crazy roller coaster because you no longer will be depending on somebody, transferring every 2 weeks X amount of money into your bank account. It's just not going to happen if you don't do the work. It's not like you weren't doing that in a job as well, but here, pretty much everything that has to do with sales, marketing, sourcing, organizing, operations, pretty much everything is going to depend on you. Whereas, when you work for a larger corporation or a small business or whatever it is, and you have a defined role, that's all you do. So I would say that that's probably one of the very first things that you're going to have to adjust to, going from the mentality of I'm only good at this to, and therefore I can't start a new business, because I'm only good at this, to recognizing that, yes, we eventually want to move to working in our genius, but in the beginning of your business, you're going to have to do it all. And very quickly, as you go from startup to build up and build out phase, you're going to start bringing in people that are going to help you with the areas of the business that, are not in your genius, that are not in your zone of genius for sure. So then I'm going to have to say that in order to even go and decide that you're going to become a business owner, whether it be in land flipping or anything for that matter, you're going to have a method that is proven. You're going to have to either develop it or you're going to have to find it. For us, there was no method when we started back in 2002 flipping land. For you guys, the land profit generator method is already there. So for anyone that is listening that is part of our LPG community, you guys already have that down. You don't have to worry about that because the method that is proven for generating revenue and profits is already laid out. The blueprint is there. The map from 6 to 7, even to 8 figures is already there. You have the basis, the foundation of basically repeating that process over and over and over again, because that iteration is what's going to create, the volume, the scale, the entrepreneurial freedom that you need in order to, to succeed in this business. So you already, if you're already part of our LPG community, you already have it. If for some reason, you're listening to this and you're wondering what is the LPG community, that's a Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group. It's called the Land Profit Generator Real Estate Investing Group. And I invite you to head on over there. It's an amazing ecosystem. It has been, over the last 8 months of 2020, an oasis of success, of positivity, and just amazing milestones and upgrades from so many people that, all of a sudden, part of their normal is that in a recession, if you're a land flipper, you're going to make more money, because that's basically the LPG normal inside of our group and inside of our ecosystem. Anyway, so like I said, so you're going to have to, then number one was, you're going to have to do everything and learn that and know that you're going to have to do everything for a short period of time. Number two, that you need to have a method. That's, a shift in mindset. If you don't have a method yet, you need to invest, go find one. If land flipping is not it, whatever area of real estate that is, go find whoever has developed a proven format and process for generating revenue consistently and predictably. So predictably that it becomes boring, to the point of boring. The next mindset shift that I think, in order for you to become a land flipping business owner, is super important for you to master, is that you want to make sure, because as entrepreneurs, we tend to be distracted by shiny pennies. So it's going to be an incredible exercise in discipline and in focus of, because it's working so well, not getting bored and therefore sloppy about the process of generating revenue and profits and cash flow using our land profit generator method, for example. So you're gonna have to dabble between, making sure that you don't get bored and you don't stop doing it, or you giving up too soon or too early in the process and going through a full cycle of buying and selling of a deal, giving up too early, and therefore not reaping the benefits and the fruits of an amazing, method that is there and that can really bring you to the next level when it comes to really just making your dreams a reality. Your dreams matter, and you have those whispers of the heart and yearnings of the heart for a reason. And we want to use those as fuel so that whenever obstacles, challenges come up, that you don't give up too fast, that you keep going no matter what, that you stay the course, that you get in line and you stay in line, like we like to say inside of our LPG community. The next shift I would say that you are going to have to make, and I am preaching to the choir, because even to this day, sometimes, it's only normal for us humans. So I'm not pointing you or singling you out. Sometimes, something doesn't work, and the almost immediate, pull, or what immediately pulls you, is to go and say, okay, what happened? Who didn't do their part in this process, And at the end of the day, that blaming others and not taking full ownership, accountability, and responsibility, for something happening or not happening, you need to stop blaming others. You're going to have to take full responsibility for you as a leader of your business, not having had either the foresight, anticipating it, or developing a good enough process or strategy, to deal with whatever comes up. And you have to acknowledge that even if you plan for things, even if you have developed a process, that things don't always go as planned. We all probably, as we already know, we all had plans for what 2020 was going to be like. And, in March and in April, those plans probably, disappeared when poof, and you had to pivot into something different, For us, in the land community, we had to pivot to what we call pivoting to profits, to higher price properties, to properties that are in the outskirts of town, or recreational property, which has been selling like hotcakes during the last months of the quarantine and the pandemic, just from people not being able to go out there and, travel and live la vida loca and go to Europe or go wherever they go overseas, and instead looking for places in state where they can, enjoy their summer with their family and so on and so forth. And some time of a little bit of normalcy, away from all the craziness of masks and of being scared of each other because, oh my goodness, so-and-so standing next to me might have the virus, So anyways, incredible that I never imagined in my life that I was going to be talking about a virus and during, an episode of the InFLOW podcast. Anyway, so the next mindset shift is gonna be of a no excuses type of thing. It's gonna be a mindset of really bringing value to the marketplace, of really stepping up in your service to both buyers and sellers. And if something, doesn't go like you expected it, there's no excuses, there's no blaming of anyone. It's kind of related, to the one that I just described, but it's more from the point of view, if something doesn't exist, you're gonna either go create it or find who has what you're looking for. And what I mean by that, it would be something along the lines of maybe you're trying to sell a piece of land, and you cannot get the seller to a title company, and you're going to have to be basically no excuses, resourceful, find a mobile notary and make the deal happen, or or know how to negotiate with a buyer, and in order to make the buyer go through with a transaction and complete the deal. So it's going to require no excuses from your end. It's going to require a mentality of it. If it doesn't exist, I'm going to go create it. And if it does exist, go out there and look at who is doing the best of what you're doing. Like if you don't have a website there, who's doing the best, who has the best websites out there? Or if you don't have the technology, who has the best technology that can walk you through, the scaling up process of your business, et cetera, whether it be land flipping or whatever it may be, and invest, It's going to require that you not be, pardon my language, a cheap ass, and not invest in the things that are important. As we move from even startup phase, to build out, to build up and build out, and even, mastery in the land flipping space, you're going to have to continually make improvements and investments in yourself and in technology, in people, in your team. And so, which brings me to, as you are moving in your entrepreneurial journey to becoming a CEO of your business and a true business owner, you're going to have to develop a yes, we can, or yes, I can mentality. And that mentality, believe it or not, you would think it's like, hello, common sense, in order to make something successful, you're going to have it. So very few people have it. I always talk about the top 1% or 3% of people of the population really having it. Everyone says they have it, but when it, when shove, comes to put, or when push comes to shove, whatever you say that in English, you have to actually show it with actions that you are a person that no matter what is happening, that it's a yes, we can type of attitude, even if it requires working longer hours, even if it requires waking up at, in the morning very early before everyone else is up to make sure that you get whatever needs to get done for your business. And so, yeah, so this yes, I can, or yes, we can, it's a trait that, you are, I don't want to say that you either have it or don't have it, because that can totally be developed. And you're going to be looking for people that are coachable and that are open to living in that higher and operating in that higher standard of working as you start bringing team into your land flipping business as well. It's not something that you're just going to demand of yourself. And I don't want to say it as demand, but that you're going to expect not just of yourself, but of others that work with you as well. The next shift, I think, that is very important in it, and it kind of goes with, with the yes, we can 1%, is the zero fear of hard work. Like if you're looking for something easy that is going to produce X amount of money, I don't know, perhaps you should go trading, day trading, work for someone else, but definitely being an entrepreneur and your own boss and a CEO of your land flipping business, if you're scared of hard work, you should not be looking at at starting any business for that matter, whether it be land flipping or not. So it needs to be kind of like your normal. Hard work needs to be your normal. Yeah. And we always talk, within our team of, an LPG normal, or the land profit warrior normal, of working. And yeah, so that's another mindset shift that you need to make in terms of, you need to really ask yourself, the question, am I willing to put in, the hard work that it takes in order for me to, bring my dreams to reality? Because if you have found something, a method, a process, a format, that is predictable, that consistently produces results, revenues, and profits for others, and it's not working for you, it's normally, I'm going to say, an issue of operator error. And it's a little bit of self-awareness will be needed, a little bit of reflection on, am I putting in the work that I need in order to, to make the, the goals that I have set up for myself actually a reality. The next mindset shift, and I think I alluded to this already, that you're going to have to make is, as you're building out any business, is you're going to have to invest in tools, you're going to have to invest in technology, and you're going to have to invest in people. And it's scary bringing someone on board that all of a sudden depends on you, and I can tell you from, having almost 30 people in our team, that every decision that we make now is not as easy a decision as it was when it was just us, working our business. Now, if we take a vacation, if we make a big decision in terms of purchasing a new technology or developing a new process, we're always thinking, how will this impact, our livelihood, not just our livelihood, but the livelihood of all the families that depend from us, in our team. And so yeah, but you're going to have to do those anyways, and you're going to have to invest. And when you don't invest enough, you're going to see that your business is going to start breaking down, because as you grow, you're going to be reaching, certain levels of growth or ceilings of complexity that are going to require new processes, new people, new technology that is going to have to, come and be part of your new normal, and that can help set the stage or the infrastructure for the next level of growth. And it can be scary, especially if you've never had to be the boss of anyone else, to all of a sudden, bring an assistant. But, we get a lot, often the question of, who are the first few people that you would, hire. And the first few people that we hired back in the day was, a lady that was helping me with all the paperwork, all the kind of transaction coordinator type of person that helped me with a lot of the admin stuff, because real estate and land flip, real estate in general is incredibly paper intensive. Now, you can use DocuSign, you can use a lot of, electronic formats to deliver documents and get documents signed and so on and so forth. But it's still going to require someone that knows how to, create those documents, make sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, and et cetera, et cetera. So you will eventually want to, bring on board someone on the admin side that can help with a lot of those things, or operations, day-to-day stuff of shuffling of paperwork that now happens, electronically, but then nevertheless needs to happen, and that are not necessarily, the best use of your time when you get to the point where you want to invest in bringing someone on board because your business is predictably producing revenue and profits, and sometimes it's a catch, there's a catch that because you don't have that person, you're not producing the profits that you need because you're spending your time on the wrong things, and sometimes, just taking that leap and knowing when the right time is to bring that person and how to onboard them properly, and what, processes of your business you're going to start giving out. There's others before you that have gone before you, that have the recipe, that have the blueprint. Invest if you're at that point. Don't try to guess it, or, be cheap. You're going to pay for the coaching anyways, is how we always like to say it. You either pay with coaching with mistakes, with mishires, or you pay for coaching by getting the proper training and getting it right, the first time when you bring someone on board, and so on and so forth. The next thing that I think you're going to have to do is you're going to have to continually invest in marketing, and you're going to continue invest in sales, not just in your own skill set of becoming an amazing marketer, an amazing salesperson. And I don't want you, I know I have mentioned in my prior episode to not be scared of sales, because sales at the end of the day is all about bringing value and bringing solutions to a marketplace, and you being better than anyone else. And as a result, buyers will choose your property over working with anyone else that has a similar 2-acre parcel in a particular subdivision in a particular, county or state in the country, because of the way you conduct yourself and how you do business. So you're going to have to invest in yourself and developing those marketing and sales skills, but you're also going to have to invest in actually, paid advertisement. I see so many times inside of our group, people saying that they have, problems with selling their properties. And I think it comes from relying maybe on one sales channel that is a free channel. And there's nothing wrong with, with relying on or listing properties in a free channel, such as Zillow or Trulia or Craigslist or Let Go or Facebook Marketplace. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of our sales, come from those avenues. But what I'm going to say is that you don't want to rely exclusively on all your sales efforts coming from that. That's kind of like an organic type of sale that happens because it's a free site, but you're going to have to also invest a little bit in some paid advertisement or paid marketing in order to also produce sales. You don't want to rely on just, the organic or the paid alone. You want to have both of those always be operating and happening in your business and allowing you to sell properties faster, quicker. And from both of those, you're going to eventually, build your buyers list so that your properties can be sold with, the click of a button and sending an email to your buyers list and saying, hey, this is a featured property. This is the hottest, property that I have going on right now. We just, brought it into our inventory, and we know it's going to sell like hotcakes because it's at X amount of, below market value. You send an email of that, positioning it in that way to a buyer's list that is receptive, that is continuously looking to buy more, and that is happy with the service that you have delivered, for them, and the quality of the properties that you have. The property is just those properties are going to sell. And in order to build that buyer's list quickly, you're going to have to transition to not just thinking about building a buyer's list, which is totally feasible in a short period of time with free channels, or organic channels, like I want to call them. But you're also going to have to invest a little bit of money on the paid side as well. The next mindset shift, I think, is going to be to taking that leap of hiring your first, your first either part-time or full-time person. And that's going to be either a VA that's going to be helping you, like I said earlier, with some of the more transactional minutia, day-to-day research, due diligence type of work, or transaction, or creating listings, or finding links, for you for properties, or creating, this property descriptions and so on, and listing them elsewhere. You're gonna have to take the leap. It's not easy thinking about having another family that is going to now depend on you. But sometimes, and at least for me, it has happened all the time, is that, I tend to do much more for others than what I do for myself. And when I know that I have 30 families depending on me, I'm willing to really stretch and really show up and become the leader that I'm meant to be, and it keeps me, this symbiotic relationship of having, I don't want to say somebody depending on you, but somebody that counts on you. It can be a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be a burden. On the contrary, it can be someone that really, makes sure that, you don't go and walk around this life, as unfulfilled potential, that you really fulfill your potential to the fullest, and that you show up, 100% to the fullest, and really grow as an individual, of course, and as a leader. And then the last one I'm going to say is, you're going to not just eventually invest in those first beginning team members, but you're going to start investing also in developing them and turning them into leaders as well, and turning them into profit warriors for your company as well. And you don't have to feel threatened, number one, by developing them into leaders. Not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. I remember in the beginning, we were like, oh my gosh, if I teach this person every single step of my land flipping businesses, are they going to go out there and do it themselves? The answer is no. It requires a specific DNA. You are listening to this podcast right now for a reason. It's not a coincidence. If you are not yet, you are one in the making, and not everyone answers that call. That call, that whisper of the heart, that yearning, that deep yearning of the heart. It's not for everyone. And so don't be scared of that. And then number two, don't be scared of bringing on board people that are smarter than you. That is what is going to really turbocharge, your profits, your growth. It's going to accelerate it. It's going to scale it. Is from surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, and if you suck at sales, perhaps it's time to bring in at some point is going to be somebody that is whose genius and who excels in sales and in negotiations with buyers is going to be the next person that you're going to have to bring in, to bring you to the next level of growth and ceiling of complexity for your business. Maybe it's going to, and don't be threatened by someone that is a great negotiator, that is probably going to negotiate a great commission structure with you. You want those kinds of people in your team, in your company as you grow. They bring their own drive, their own ambition to the table, their own dreams, their own goals. And it can be beautiful to see, a group of people not just realizing their own personal goals, but the team goals, and in the process, really creating an impact and really being of service in the marketplace to both sellers, to buyers, in the area that you are, doing either land flipping or you're operating whatever business it is that you're operating. So I would say those are the key. I know I said there were going to be 10, but they ended up being 11. So you get an extra one. The key mindset shifts that you're going to have to make as you become, a full-time, land flipping business owner and go from either being an employee to, being a full-time investor. And then as you grow as a full-time investor, really building out not just a mom and pop shop where everything depends on you, but a real true land flipping business that also enjoys the same entrepreneurial freedoms that you started, the business for. Because if your business only depends on you for sales, your business does not enjoy the freedom of money. If your team cannot take time off to rejuvenate and really restore, then your business, because they're the only person that knows how to do something, then your business is not enjoying the freedom of time either. And so if they're not really invested in a vision, in a company that is really out there transforming the marketplace in some way, shape, or form, whether it just be geographically, if you only work a specific county or a specific state, and you're not the best at what you do, and you're not really providing value and really impacting and bringing, the dream of land ownership, to your buyers, and alleviating, sometimes a property, ownership burden from sellers. If you're not bringing that to the table, people may not want to work with you. So those are the mindset shifts to definitely keep in mind as you are mapping your path, from being an employee to a full-time, investor, and even from there, from a full-time investor to an actual business owner of a land flipping business. With that, I want to say thank you so much for being with me on another episode of InFLOW. We have a land profit lab coming up September 14th. I would love to invite you and have you there. We're basically doing a 5-day, crash course on land flipping, on land investing, where we're bringing you from, A to Z in a matter of, actually, it turns out to be 9 days, of 9 days, and really teaching you everything that you need to know from, how to select counties, how to find lists, how to most efficiently and effectively, send out your mailing campaigns, your marketing campaigns, how to receive inbound calls, from sellers, how to make offers, how to close on a property, how to list a property, and how to sell that property for actual profit. And what we intend during our labs, and that's why they're called labs, is that it's not just about us giving you information, but each and every single day, you taking a step that brings you closer. So it's almost like co-working with us and taking baby steps each and every day with us, that at the end of the day are going to turn into, your first deal very, very quickly, and are going to get you, on that path to, again, like I said earlier, becoming a full-time land flipper, shifting from an employee to a full-time land flipper, or a business owner that is looking to really scale up their land flipping business. So we would love to have you. It starts September 14th. In order to attend those, you have to register. You can go to LPG Lab, that's lpglab.com, and register. We start September 14th. They're at 10 a.m. We're hosting them inside of our Facebook group. After you register, there's going to be like a little link or a button that says join our Facebook group. If you haven't joined us, that's where we're hosting them live. You interact with us. We answer questions, and it's just a lot of fun for 9 days, because making money through land flipping does not need to be a drag. We love making money. We love making money in a fun way, and we're teaching you guys the speed, the processes that we take, to bring to come from zero to having your first $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 payday when it comes to profits from land flipping. So with that said, thank you so much. I look forward to having you on another episode of the InFLOW podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to get inflows of cash inflows of light, and inflows of faith in your life. I welcome your reviews on iTunes. Please leave me a review and help me create an amazing community of women in flow. Thank you, as always, for sharing your voice by going to michellebosch.com and joining the conversation about this show. And while you're there, grab a copy of my 10 Commandments to Living a Life in Flow. You can also follow me on Facebook at Michelle Bosch and on Instagram at Michelle Bosch Official. Thank you very much, and until the next one.